Oh, we haven't set up anything this week.
We haven't set up anything. So,
No.
on that note, welcome to a very new, very disappointing episode of
PaintWater Soup.
Now comes the part with a drinking joke and I spit stuff around the room. We just skip that for today because this is the winged episode.
Yep. This is it. We usually have some kind of talk beforehand of who does what, but this week we had stuff to do. It seems like
we skipped stuff.
But we're here, we're recording, and hopefully we'll have a riveting talk.
We always have, and let's be honest, we always just wing it.
Yeah, like 90% at least.
90% is just winging it. So there's this, before you go on with your dad joke, there's this running joke on our Discord that you can join for free. That not a single day goes by without me rearranging my studio. And guess what I did?
Yeah, I saw it. It looks really clean and amazing, though. I would lie if I didn't say I was a little bit jealous.
No, don't be.
So as you see right now, my studio is kind of like a mishmash of things. So here I have a lamp. The mic is down below today. I just got a new camera. Just got some new things. So just having a field day, putting it all up and trying to figure out how everything works and is set up in the right way. Yeah, so that's why things are looking like they do. But I'll get there.
But all the people that follow you will have like a real boost in quality in the videos once you have your camera running.
Yeah, hopefully.
And that's amazing. That is really amazing.
Yeah, I feel like especially like the talking head stuff really with the phone isn't working that well. And also I mean the painting itself, it's hard to like look while you're painting. So the sometimes you have the misfortune of, oh my god, I was out of screen or I was out of focus, and stuff like that. So having a camera will make a difference for sure,
especially if you can use like your phone or whatever to see what you're doing on camera. I mean, there's an app for basically every cam where you can connect it to, and I always have like way too much material when I record for my videos, so 90% of it gets tossed. And I got a little remote now, so I paint stuff and I intentionally start my camera off for 1 to 5 minutes and film a process, whatever I'm doing there, and then I stop it and go on merrily with my painting. Don't care about if I'm on screen or whatever. And when then another steps that I think would fit well into the video comes up, I just hit the button again and record a bit, and now I have like way less stuff that needs to be thrown out.
Yeah. I think like there was also a thing when I got started. I mean, I didn't really know what I wanted to show, so I just shot everything. And for the last 2 videos, I've been a little bit more like, okay, I'm going to film this part, and I'm going to film this part. But then again, I mean, I caught like I think the second to last video I did ended up being like 10 minutes, and I think I had like roughly 2 hours when I started cutting. And I mean, a lot of it gets left on the cutting room floor like directly, just ship. And yeah, it's nice having the possibility of doing it that way, but I feel like it might be taking a lot of extra time that's just unnecessary. If I had like done better shots and been more clear what I wanted to film in the first time.
And if you're like a backup nerd like I am, everything needs to back up triple times. It is a lot of material that you need to back up, and that can get out of hand. I mean,
Yeah.
I upgraded my storage here to like I have a lot of other stuff there, like my STL collection and stuff. But I'm having now something around 30 terabytes around my house, which is
Damn.
50% used. And yeah, also like the most important stuff is even online. So I got like 2 terabytes of online space. But there's only the really, really important stuff that I don't want to use. I have old stuff from old cameras that I digitalized from when my daughter was little and all that stuff. And even if my house burns down, I want these memories to stay. So I back them up online.
So how many terabytes do Jarvis take up?
Jarvis is like on a USB stick.
Okay.
Because if he gets sassy, I can just rip him
Plug
out.
him out. Yeah, nice. Okay, so you ready for the dad joke?
I am ready for the dad joke. I don't know if everybody else is ready for the dad joke.
Okay, so perfectly honest, this I just found this, but I thought it was kind of funny. Okay, so how many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh?
I don't know.
Tentacles. Yeah, it works. Oh,
That joke got pretty fast into hentai territory, and I don't want to go there.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's look at the show notes that has nothing in them. Oh yeah, story time. We did that already, right?
Yeah, we kind of did. We talked mostly about my cameras, or my camera and stuff. Did you have anything happen to you this week? I mean, you have I saw on the Discord that you had your personal best at the gym, man.
I had a second personal best today.
Oh, there we go.
So my personal best yesterday was 150 kilograms.
Boom.
On the shoulders and then squat. And that's like people came over and were like, is he really doing it? 2 people standing on the side, so if anything happens, they could like grab it and help me put it back on in the rack. People say, oh, you can't do that because I will be fucking jealous. People coming in and high-fiving me, and so it was so great. And I have really strong legs and a strong back now, but I lack in the breast muscles and arm muscles. But I went and I got at least to an 80 kilograms bench press today. So
cool.
that is
so the
kind of okay.
Yeah, the obvious like question after reading this and hearing this about the gym is, when do we see your OnlyFans?
Well, I still have a lot of fat on me, and I'm still massively overweight. So this has to wait until my obesity is fully gone. But I'm working on that, because starting today, I just drank bitter salts a few hours ago.
Okay.
And if you don't know what bitter salts how can I put it? Have you ever had like really, 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 really bad diarrhea?
Yep.
Um, Make that 10 times.
Okay, so now we're stepping into trapped on the plastic territory here, talking
Yes.
diarrhea. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I will skip that topic, but what it does is like, it flushes everything. You need like at least 2 liters of water that you drink during this process, so you don't totally dehydrate, and you are in fact completely empty after that. And now begins the process of at least 1 week. We'll try to do 2 weeks of just drinking water, just drinking tea, and I can have like a clear broth for dinner.
Yeah.
Or like for dinner, and 2 times a day I can drink 500 milliliters of like a veggie juice or tomato juice or something like that.
Yeah.
And I
mean,
hope
as
to
long as
drop,
you, what's your goal?
I hope to drop 10 kilograms in 14 days, but I don't know if I can make
That's
14
fast.
days.
That's fast. So me and my girlfriend, it's actually like, I think it's like almost 2 years ago right now. We started this like, it was a 66-day program together. So it was called Weekly Revolt. It's been like on a high here in Sweden. So you got like recipes that you could eat, and you should eat like 6 meals a day. But it's very small meals, and it's focused on the thing that the protein should be as big as your palm, and
All right.
and the like potatoes or what you eat with it should be like the big as your total hand. And then it was a lot of training, of course, also. So it was like battle ropes and a lot of like home training. So it was during COVID, so it fit very well. And we dropped like crazy. We did like before and after pictures. I started out at like, I think it was 85 kilos. And I ended up at like 65 almost. I was thin, too thin, some say, but and what did I get out of that? I mean, of course it was great to having like, I felt very healthy, I could run, I felt very like, I wasn't as tired. But then again, what I took away from it was also that I want to be able to eat that pizza. I want to be able to do stuff that I don't want to be like beholden my whole life to like a schedule, or there was a lot of like things that you have to like give up, and it's okay for 66 days, but it's not okay for like the entire life. So it was a lesson learned, but then again, I don't know. I really liked the experience, and the people. There was a lot of people there that really needed to lose weight, and the community around it, like everybody was like hyping each other up, and we like posted like in a Facebook group everything that we did, and people were like, "You're great, man." And so it was kind of cool. It was like an online group event sort of thing when we did it.
So I will get cancelled for what I say now, but I don't like these people that are like in this body positivity movement, like big and beautiful and blah blah blah. You can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can
totally.
look however you want. I don't fucking care. Yeah, if you're fat, if you're small, if you're big, if you like triangle shaped, I don't fucking care. But promoting being unhealthy, it's like if you're like 200 kilograms and you say, yeah, big is beautiful and everyone should be like that, that's like promoting heroin. I'm really sorry, but it is. It's bad for you. Yeah, it's not healthy. And I am massively obese. I started last year at 139.9 kilograms, like 140 kilograms. That is a big fat ass, I tell you guys. And I dropped 25 kilograms of fat, and I gained 9 till starting this year, and gained 10 kilograms of muscle.
Cool.
Then I started caring for my mental health for like 3 months now, and I gained like 5-6 kilograms of fat again. And then I said, nope, I don't want that anymore. I need to get back into my mindset. So now I'm fasting, and I want to drop like at least 10 kilograms, preferably 15, till we go to London in August.
Yeah. Because
I want to be fit there. And I'm doing a lot of single rep sport, like single repetition, because I'm going for max weight. Just because I want all the muscles to tear up and grow faster. So when I switch to endurance training, I have a motor that will burn stuff and not like not like I want to have a Porsche that burns stuff and not a Fiat 500. So I can lose the rest of it. And as sad as it is, I will need surgery at least on my belly, because all the skin will be strange then. And if you have a possibility to work on your health, going to the gym has been one of the best experiences so far, because at least where I am, people are super supportive. They don't care if you're fat or thin. They see that you want to get healthy, and they will help you.
Yeah, they will. I mean, that's the I have a buddy that says this, and I kind of have to agree that as long as you're like doing something about it, then it's okay to express that you're that you're not okay with how you look. I mean, but what gets him is that people are complaining, and then they're like stuffing their face with cheeseburgers, and it's like, I kind of get that. Of course, there is still, of course, mental health and what people can manage and everything, but it's really there is something there, like you can do something. There's never too late. So just get out there and get healthy. I mean, and there's so many ways. I mean, I have to be honest, I was always a skinny kid, and growing up in a house where my parents and my sister weren't that skinny. I was always hearing that you're so skinny, and they never got that I had like self-esteem issues because I thought I was too skinny, because I didn't look like them. But then, like when I turned, I think it was 25 or something, I moved to a desk job at work, and then boom, I was like 10 kilos right away. And then it just went from there. And I never had to move a muscle like in my entire life. I've been inside like throwing dice. That was my idea of like like a fitness program. But what got me like moving first time around was actually Thai boxing. It was a guy at work like, you should come hang out and we can do this together. And it clicked for me. I mean, it's never too late to find your thing. My thing was never the gym, but Thai boxing kind of was, and it was the same way. I mean, it didn't go as quick, but like after like 6 months, when I started training Thai boxing, the first day of training, they told me that 6 months in, when we end this course, you will be able to do 100 burpees in a row. And my answer to that was, okay.
Yeah, right.
What's a burpee?
Burp.
Yeah, that was my answer. And 6 months later, I stood there and I did 100 burpees, and I could do 500 5 minutes plank. And
Dude.
I mean, it's insane. But then it kind of, kids and stuff, and getting a house, and yeah, some things change, but it's still, I mean, yeah, now I go because I think it's fun, and I can't do it that full-heartedly and that much anymore. But it's my way of, like, don't just sit in a chair. I always get out there and hit that bag, and yeah. So everybody should find something.
It's even good for your self-esteem.
Yeah, it is.
Got over myself and went to the karate class in my gym. And all the guys I hang out with, there's like, if you go to the gym, there are like 3-4 guys that you connect with and you hang around with and you do stupid stuff and challenge yourself. And I was like, I want to do this karate class. And for a second, I was like, what are they going to say about it? And then I remember that I don't fucking care what people say about me. And I went to the karate class. And one guy was like, well, what are you doing there? Well, why are you going there? Because I want to move. I want to not just push weights. I want to be active. I want to talk to people. And and the other guys were like, well, can we just go there? And yeah, like this time and next time, there's still like looking into it, and then the training starts. And one guy actually joined, and that's amazing. So I need to talk about getting paid for getting people in.
Like a commission. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like commission karate training.
Yeah,
well,
nice.
That's good for your self-esteem. And I got asked to...
Yeah, continue. Yeah.
Sorry. I always thought I am not that fit. But I was asked to regulate my power down because I am a lot stronger muscle-wise than the people that are in this class, and I never thought of myself this way. So I did like a block. We did like a block.
Yep.
And from being grabbed to removing that and pushing the person aside, like this exercise. Yeah. And sadly, the guy wasn't prepared for what was coming, because we did it.
Strength. Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of pushed him, and he fell to the side. And I was really sorry, dude. And I was like, no, I had a bad stance and stuff, but yeah, it was funny. Yeah, that was nice story time.
Yeah, we went all into fitness stuff, but yeah, I mean, people, there's still so much that we don't know about each other, and there's even more that people don't know about us in the Discord, and still people come hang out. So I guess they indulge us and get to know us a little bit more.
Dude, I am so happy we do this in the podcast, because we now have stuff to talk about. Every time I listen to something awesome, I think, well, it's good to think that those two guys don't know each other that well, or didn't know each other that well before, so they always have nice stuff to talk about. And I think that's getting more interesting than people that, that grew up together and were running around 30 years. They have no stuff to talk about. So, want to switch to painting, or do we have more stories?
I don't. No, I don't think so. I think like we're really taking this episode just as it goes, but we do have a topic in mind. Before that, I'll just have to also say that I'm actually like trying to do a thing this episode that in Sweden, we men are famously known for not being able to do more than one thing at once. I
That's
don't know
not
if
Sweden, dude.
no,
It's everywhere in the
that's
world.
everywhere. Yeah. So I'm going to try and paint while we do this, and we'll see how that goes. And as soon as my camera battery has charged here, I might be able to switch the camera to that. And if you happen to look on the YouTube video, you might be able to like get like some shots in there also when I look. So it's going to be like a podcast co-stream thingy.
Cool. So I got two little things today that I want to add before what we've painted. I just got I need to look into this further, but I got an interesting message from Kickstarter. They suggested a Kickstarter for me. It's called 3D printable stuff for gamers and painters, and they basically say we give you $1,000 worth of printable miniatures for $50 because all the creators donated it, and all the earnings will go to the Ukraine. And I will need to look into this because I can never have enough printable stuff. And I think even if I would have that, it is right up my alley. So supporting people that way feels good for me. So I will look into that. And I want to shout out a dude I talked to today. And he's also a YouTuber. I met him on a special Discord. And he's a fellow German.
Oh, yeah.
And you can find him at MiniQuest64.
Ah, MiniQuest. I recognize that, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how he made that. I think because he's the better YouTuber. He started in November like I did. Has the same amount of videos and has double the subscriber size. And
Damn.
he's doing he's doing longer videos. And he's doing really epic stuff with resin pours and not always showing the stuff that is going perfect, but also like showing the fuck ups and how to fix that. And that is something I really liked about his videos. And a really nice chat with him today about monetization and all the German tax stuff and
wow.
stuff you need to put on your website and stuff. And I wanted to shout him out, so go check out MiniQuest64. Really cool dude. Yeah, and this was the ad for today.
Yes. So what's the topic then, mate? And
Nah, it's what have you painted in the last 2 weeks?
Damn, you got me there. Yeah. So as you might have guessed in the start of this podcast, there has been a lot of like personal stuff going on. So just to like sum some of it up, I've had two bachelor parties. I need to repaint my house. There's a shitload of stuff going on at work. Fun stuff because it's going very well for us right now. So I have to work overtime sometimes, and on top of that, of course, there's this fun stuff with the podcast and commission painting and trying to put out YouTube. And then my girlfriend's birthday is coming up, and then my kid's birthday is coming up. There's like it's a never-ending story right now. So, but somewhere in there, I actually, since the last time we filmed an episode, I finished my Marvel Crisis Protocol commission finally.
Nice.
And I don't know if I said that in the last one, but after that I also finished some Eldarian Rangers, and I just right now painting the hero for that squad, and then I'll be done with yet another commission. So yeah, it's kind of hoping up on me right now, but that's hence the multitasking try, but we'll see.
So that's something I'm jealous of, because I am on Fiverr like a long time now and nobody booked my shit. So
How long have you been on Fiverr now?
I don't know, 3 months.
Yeah, I think I was on there for like 3 or 4 months before I even got my first one too. And it was, I don't know, it was like, and then when you get your first like then you have stars, and then there's a review for you, and yeah, people just keep coming. But
Yeah.
to be honest, I mean, it's what pays for stuff right now, but it would be really nice like having breathing room to paint stuff with like an intent in mind.
Yeah.
Like for a video that like, okay, I want to show this off, instead of like, okay, I have to paint this mini, how can I make that work into a miniature, like a video. So going the other way around, like I have to do right now.
But it's not like that I haven't done any hobby. But
Yeah.
you know, if you got ADD or ADHD, your brain tends to do really stupid stuff. And you
What
get
did you do?
hyper fixated, or better said, hyper focused.
Yeah.
So I actually hate. Is hate too strong word? No, I don't enjoy building miniatures. I don't. I don't know why. I built the terrain for Kill Team Charnath, and I already primed it, and it will be one of the next videos. But no kidding, I built and primed all 3 new Underworld warbands. Like the undead dudes, like the shadow dudes, and the red dudes.
So the follow-up question would be, did you like it?
Yes, because I accomplished something, and they are standing primed and with a zenithal in my shelf ready to grab.
Nice.
And do you know what's standing next to them?
No, tell me.
The kill team, or both kill teams from Nagmund.
Okay.
Like the Corsairs, the Eldari Corsairs, and the Chaos Space Marines Legionaries.
Yeah.
And the full set of Orc Commandos.
Nice.
So I built like, that was 13, 33, 40, something around 60 miniatures.
So were these miniatures that you had beforehand, like when we tallied up the things that we had unpainted, like, or is this new stuff since then that you've added to your collection?
That is stuff that was already in my collection, but it was unbuilt, and it was just on spruce, and now it's done.
So then you moved the needle in the right direction then.
Yeah, and I got 2 more kill teams there that I will be building, going through next week. And if I look at my shelf, if I still am hyper fixated on building, I will build a lot of not a lot of, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 or 5 more warbands, and then all my underworld stuff is built. Or I will go and build the starter box for Star Wars Legion. I don't know. And then all stuff except of my Death Guard and my Knight is built, and I can just concentrate on painting. But my brain won't let me paint at the moment. It's not working. I can't paint. I need to build this stuff, or I feel like I will die.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I worked with paint. I worked with primers and ink. So it's basically kind of painted.
Yeah. Did you what did I think about with the so how does it look now? Not like with your tally. How many do you have more built than not built now?
Oh, I can check my not PaintRake, my figure case app.
I think people were on the edge of their seat right there, like, oh, can he do two things at the same time? I felt it myself, like, okay, I'm slipping.
Yeah, it was really,
it was
really getting
stuff.
intense.
Yeah.
So funny thing is, 50% of my stuff exactly
there we go.
is unassembled right now, and the rest is just one is assembled. A lot of them are prepared or primed or even in progress, and 27% is finished. So 50% unassembled, 27% finished, and all of the stuff in the middle, like 23%, is like primed or in progress.
Cool. Like I said before, it's really moving in the right direction.
Yes,
it's I think your what you're saying right now really hurts Dennis's feelings.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, he's the dude with the most minis ever, and
dude, so much minis.
Yeah, I can't even begin to, like, if I had that many minis, I would be kind of afraid, like where to start.
Well, the fun stuff is I can now move some along. I forgot to move them along. Like my Legions of Chaos are here, still unassembled, but I can move them to assembled, base prepared. This is the fun thing about this app is moving stuff along, like here on these nice charts. Is a huge dopamine hit. I love that. That's so cool.
Fun to be able to say that you've actually completed something.
Yeah. And this app showed me, I was like, I haven't completed this much this year, and I looked into it. No, it's only 52 things I've completed. So, well, I guess I've done some things so far, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, what's the main topic today? Or are we at the end?
We're not at the end. So the main topic today is techniques, right?
Techniques.
Yes.
We don't have any techniques. Thanks for listening, guys. See you on the next podcast.
Yep, kind of it. Yes. Okay. So if you
Bye.
want to support us,
technique. That's a strange word.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know any techniques? I just throw paint around. Is this a technique?
Okay, so in theory, I know all the techniques because I've binged all the YouTube stuff, and I kind of have to say that there's of course some techniques that I use regularly. Some to better like outcome than others.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I mean, a lot of the time I'm just fidgeting, and I don't really have like a clear plan that okay, I'm going to do a glaze here or I'm going to do that here. I'm just moving with like the flow. Like okay, so
Yeah, dude.
what is the paint doing right now? What do I need it to do? And sometimes the consistency of the paint on the wet palette like decides for me because I'm too lazy to change it. So I'm okay. I guess I'm doing
Yes.
glazing right now. But yeah, so that's it. But okay, so if we go through the basic ones, I mean, I would say I'm guessing right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say that you're a layer painter, right?
I am pretty much layering and glazing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, why did you start that way? What was it that like showed you like layering and glazing was the way to go for you? How did you begin your journey in that kind of techniques?
So you slap on a base coat,
Yeah,
and then you slap on a highlight, and then you
yeah,
see that the highlight is way too bright, and then you look for a solution that your highlight isn't that separated from your base layer.
yeah.
And
But
then maybe you sometimes find out that starting really dark even helps you to avoid painting shadows, and you can just start painting light. That
yeah,
took me a while, and then I just went on and layered and layered and layered and layered. And I was getting pretty happy with the result, but sometimes it was too harsh,
yeah,
and transition wise. And then I found out about glazing, and then I had a hard time figuring out glaze consistency. Then I found it. Then I found glaze medium, which is my preferred way of glazing now.
yeah,
And that's it. I'm a layer and glaze painter now. But since I did the last video about boba and using my fear of bigger brushes, I successfully wet blended a few times. So what
yeah.
about you? Are you a layer painter too, or?
So I think we have a little bit of a different journey there. I mean, I I begun painting like Warhammer, just like out of the recipes that you see on the box.
Mhm.
So there it was definitely layering for that, like because that's how you painted miniatures. Like you
Mhm.
had like a clear way that you should be doing it. And then I've like found all of this like different ways through. I think the main like dude that really spoke techniques for me was Vince Venturella.
Mhm.
That really showed the different ones, and some were just so hard. Like I mean,
Yeah, dude.
wet blending he makes it looks so easy.
Mm.
And like I tried that so many times before I even like got it to working, and then still sometimes it isn't working for me because it has to do with the paints also. Like some
Mm.
paints doesn't wet blend that well, some do even better, and it's hard to know beforehand. So yeah, that's kind of that way. But then there is like stuff like yeah, I've done that too. I actually saw on the retarder side there was a dude that did a very like interesting take on it. He covered the area that he wanted to wet blend in
Mhm.
retarded medium.
Ooh.
So instead of like putting it in the brush, he put it on the area and then put on the different paints like beside each other, and then he blended them together in the middle.
Yeah.
So they didn't like dry on the mini. So I tried that too. It kind of worked okay. But then there's like loaded brush technique. That seems like magic to me. I can't say that I have tried it that much, but then again, I when I see people use it, I know that it's a very complicated technique, and not like something that might like change it that much for me. But it's just another tool. Like maybe it could do some things a little bit faster, but it isn't necessarily a technique that's needed.
So if you look at it, there's like two ways of using techniques. There's first the way of just doing it yourself and being skilled with the brush and the paints and the consistency. And there's a second way of doing stuff, and that is using materials as techniques. Like for example, special mediums like retarder medium, glaze medium. And I think using a wash or an oil wash is also like a technique you do.
Yeah, that's right.
So what do we want to jump in first? Do you want to jump into the we do it ourselves, or do we want to use in the material techniques first?
I mean, I think we're already in the we do it ourselves category, so we might as well start there. So like we do it ourselves. We think about those techniques. Which ones do you regularly use? And which techniques would you like to learn, and which do you think it's just unnecessary?
So I don't think from the get-go, no technique is unnecessary. If you can do it, and if you get your result with it, do it. And there's a lot of techniques, like painting wise, we haven't looked into dry brushing, edge highlighting, recess shading. There's so much stuff you can do, and it just depends on if you want to do it, or if you need it for something, or if it actually sparks joy. If you get a kick from edge highlighting because it makes the miniature so good, and you can enjoy doing this fine movement with the side of your brush all day, dude, go for it. Definitely.
Yeah.
So it always comes down to, will it get you your result, and will it spark joy?
Yeah. The only thing that I have like as a side note to that is I tend to change up my techniques depending on what I'm painting.
Totally.
So yeah, so it's still like there is still people out there that always use the same technique, and they kind of master it. I think we touched on this in a earlier episode. Why I might not like master anything anytime soon is because I still switch things up too much. Like I can't stay in one place. I have to like try everything out, and I think that's kind of what keeps me in it also, to be honest. Like there's always some new things to try out and learn, and I love learning stuff. I mean, like feeling that you grow, and not only like on like one aspect, but just being able to like have that click moment, and then just moving on and to something else. I mean, we're living in like an age of so much information, and we can understand everything in theory. I mean, I can watch one of those technique videos and I understand perfectly what they say and how it should be done. But then when I sit there, I mean, I can't like replicate it, and that comes down to like brush control and experience, I think, and just keeping at it. And I mean, we do get better even if we don't think so, just as long as we paint.
Yeah.
And like for me, the speed I can do things now is so much quicker than when I started out. I could sit there fidgeting with like a mini for like days at a time, and it's nothing wrong. I mean, I liked every second of it, so there's nothing wrong with that. But like, yeah, I think that's it for me. Like every technique, every tool, everything is bringing something new to the table, something new to learn, something new to try to understand and replicate. And for me, that's kind of the essence of the hobby, kind of.
Staying curious.
Yeah.
Trying new stuff, try combining stuff. That is what gets me. And I oftentimes ask myself, will this work?
Yeah.
And I just go for it. And that's... So far, I've been lucky. Everything worked out for me except for one thing. And even that is a video idea. So...
no harm, no foul.
Yeah, that's like I failed. My second video failed miserably because the stuff that I wanted to try out did not work for that scale. And I was super angry about it, but I had so much material and put so much time and work in. And today I'm like, neat. I can take this and I can put it online and I can say, I've screwed my second video and this is what I learned from it, and now I'm going to make a video about it, how I will try to fix this without stripping the paint. I will put in time and work, and I challenge myself. I don't know if it will work, but I challenge myself to fix this, and I will also tell you everything that went wrong. I tell you everything that went wrong and what you should try to avoid. Like making a zenithal and putting over contrast paints an hour later.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It reactivates the ink and you're screwed. Miniature ruined. But all that aside, I mean, let us start from the beginning. Let us look at the really basic tool. That's the brush, right?
Yeah.
So we already went to, of course, base coats. You put base coats on, and even starting before that, you put a primer on.
Yeah.
If you don't put a primer on, most of the times you're gonna have a bad time. Period.
Yeah. I would have. Yeah. Period.
And for the primer, there's also the possibility to do a zenithal. Like an overspray from above from a 45-degree angle, just to see your values better. But you can do so much more starting there. You can use different colors if you want to start at a... Like for an OSL. I won't do a zenithal from above if I want to do an OSL effect, or like... two light sources thing. I would do it from both sides and even tint maybe the undertones, so I have a better idea where the light meets and stuff. There's endless possibilities.
So, would you say that you tend to start with the zenithal? Is that your go-to starting point?
Yeah. Because if I want to do quick stuff, I love the So that is my... I want to put it on the table, and I want it to look decent. I call it my TTR Plus, Tabletop Ready Plus. And tabletop ready is 3 colors, a wash, and then fuck it. And my TTR Plus is I do a zenithal, then I paint with either speed paints, contrast paints, or the ones from Scale. What are they called? Instant paints. Yeah, I really love them. They're really cool for this technique. I paint them that way, and then I do an oil wash.
Yep.
And then I do 3, 4, 5, 6, how many colors, whatever, for details. Like eyes, teeth, leather, whatnot. Highlight here, highlight there. That is my Tabletop Ready Plus, and they tend to look really, really great.
It doesn't like, especially when it's units, they're so easy to make them look good in a group, I would say. And that's one thing that I struggled early on with commission painting, actually. Like, you have to realize that most of the people that pays you to paint for them, they don't know a thing about painting. They want to paint you so they don't have to paint. So for them, there's no joy in painting. They want their stuff to look cool. They want it to fit like their theme, and they want it to be like enough. And that's speaking for a very large part of the commission customers. Oh, there we go. Those are.
Can you see this, dude? Quite well.
Those look nice. I remember the video. I mean,
that's Tabletop Ready Plus. That's just putting contrast, instant, whatever paints on, doing an oil wash or doing even a multicolor oil wash. So we're getting really pro here. And then just letting that dry and going in for the details. It covers all the stuff that takes a lot of time because of the size of it. The oil wash takes care of all the recesses. If you put like a red on the face and the elbows and stuff, you get color variation. And then you go in and paint the details, like the stuff that really sticks out, and then you're done, and they look really good.
You know, and another thing that oil washes and oil colors in general do very well is hide airbrush speckles.
Oh yes.
So if you have if you've gone in there very heavy with like airbrush, like maybe you've done a couple of different colors like gradients and anything like that, you can just slab like an oil wash on, and it will make it fit together very nicely, and it would hide every like little speckle, and it would just make it buttery smooth. It's like pure magic.
If it's like really small units or a large group of units and I want to get them done quickly, it is totally okay to throw a wash on.
Yep.
Or tones for special places. Tones is another thing. But we went from the airbrush and how you start to the brushes. So you put on your base coats, and then you got a lot of possibilities, basically. You can, as you said, layer. Layer is simply putting on a lighter color, slightly lighter than your base coat, onto the highlighted areas. You look at it from above, and you put on a layer where the sun or where the light would hit it. But you make it a bit smaller every time. That's layering. And so you get to a lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter color to the highest, most raised part of that thing that you're painting. And if you want to tie them together more, you can use a glaze. You can use glazes for a lot of other stuff, but it's like the most used painting. You can switch that up. You can actually do a dry brush and get lighter and lighter and lighter with a dry brush. If you have a big scaly thing like a dragon or something, you could dry brush the whole thing and just taking lighter colors as high as you go on the dragon.
Yeah.
And then you can still glaze it together. That's also layering, but with a dry brush.
Yeah, yeah. So like for speed paints, like for if I want something done very quickly, I also tend to go with like contrast paints. I tend to like start out with a black primer, and then like cream or bone zenithal, and then I go in with like a very very bright white. I usually go like Sminke or Chimera, and I dry brush that on very lightly. So then I have like soft light, and I have very sharp edges.
Yeah.
And then I just throw on contrast paints on top of that, and it turns out nice. I mean, it's really easy to just pick out all the details when you have that kind of zenithal and contrast already. So, and then on top of that, now working more and more front the camera, I also realized that zenithal works very much in our favor for things showing up on the camera.
Ooh, yeah.
Like if it would just be like a black primer, it would be had to be like so much light, and then there is the possibility of the light like bouncing, and it would be like a nightmare filming that stuff, but for me at least. But so just another thought out of what's
and if you put on a black primer, especially I'm using the Monument Hobbies primer right now.
Yeah. How do you like it? Is it nice?
Goddamn, I never had a primer that went so smooth through the airbrush. I always had issues with primers. Res, everyone is raging about. It clogged up my airbrush nonstop, even to a point where I went like, okay, I'm doing 50 psi now, and I'm thinning this stuff to a 50-50 ratio. My Harder and Steenbeck airbrushes hate that stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Then I went to Vallejo, and that worked okay. Still had to thin it down a bit, but I had no issues with that. But I didn't like the finish, and I used it up, so I got the Monument Hobbies primer. It works without thinning. I still blasted at a really high PSI, around 40-45 PSI. I always work with high pressure on my airbrush. I don't know, works better for me. And then I just reduced the paint flow.
Yeah.
But it is so matte black. God damn it. It is really, really black and really, really matte. And the ink sticks perfectly on top of it.
I think that's what they were aiming for too, right? That like their primer matches their original colors like perfectly in like their finish and their color. So one thing that might be an issue for some, if you're really like a stickler for those kind of things, is that that when if you go in like with other color brands and stuff like that, it won't match that well. Just because it's so matte. Also, I think like Ninjon told like something about that when he painted his Golden Demon piece. He had that like he had to, because the shadows could be nice to have like satin or even in some instances it's not that bad to have them glossy, because you have that extra depth. So just out of that thing, I don't know if it's the best, but I haven't heard anything bad about it. I worked with Vallejo and it works fine. I go through it fast though.
Yeah, me too. So when we're still looking at the brush, we got a few techniques covered, and what I really haven't used that much, which I'm really getting into right now, is dry brushing.
Yeah.
Dry brushing is a lot of fun and can make for an awesome finish and can finish your minis quickly. As I did with my Creek, they were just speed paint, some metallics, and then a dry brush. And they look like they went through a snowstorm and have really nice highlights. It blends all together really well. Nice thing. Also, there's this other technique. I don't know what it's called. Is it overpainting or something like this, where you basically do the same thing as dry brushing, but combined like with edge highlighting. You have some kind of color in your brush, in your normal brush, and
Yeah.
you do the same thing like edge highlighting, but on a fur or something, like where all the tips are peeking out of the fur, and you go over the side with your kind of wet brush over it, and all the high parts get painted that way. I use that quite often too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, most of it really comes down to like brush control. I saw this great video. I don't think it was that long ago that Vince Venturella put out, like about just brush control, and like it clicked for me, like so many things. Like I had like been holding like the brush like this and like painting, and then he like, you can hold it like a pen.
Yeah,
and I was like,
and that works.
Like, oh yeah, of course, you get much more control like this. So like when you switch that kind of things up, then you really notice what you can do. Like if you have the control and you have like the mentality that the worst thing that can happen is that you have to like start over with a prime, or I mean,
Yeah.
you don't even have to be worried about like stripping. I think it's very, very far into the process than if you have to strip anything. I would say, at least. So okay, so where were we? You were mentioning so have you do you know loaded brush? I think that's one of the most like weird ones, I would say. Have you heard about it?
I've seen it. I have never tried it, and it is kind of, yeah, it is strange. It is really strange.
Yeah. So for those who haven't heard about it, it's basically you have two paints in the brush, in the bristles. So like if you would say, like if you would do non-metallic metal, you could have like a black in the bristles or a very deep blue, and then like on the tippity top of the brush you would have like a pure white. So then you could work with the side of the bristles and then tilt the brush more and more and then let the white in. So you could do like a very nice wet blend with the same brush, instead of like having to go back to the palette and picking up that color. So yeah, in theory it sounds amazing. It doesn't sound that easy though, but yeah. I also saw that like when trying out like wet blending, people did the two brush wet blending. Have you tried that?
What I often use in that regard is feathering, but that is something I really use quite often now. I heard of two brush blending, but so I think it could work really well, because it's just, I would say, wet blending 2.0 or something. But I'm lazy and I didn't want to go into like swing and multiple brushes around. That sound just, for me, that sounded just tedious and annoying. So it's not something that I would enjoy, I say.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, I tried it once just to when I had like the when I had a lot of trouble wet blending just to see if it clicked, and it's just didn't feel right that it would. People don't like people that have the wet blending down don't stress that much. They stress, of course, because the paint can dry, but like if you can do it without that second brush, like people like the ones that show it off, they always have the other the paintbrush in the mouth with the color, so they like switch it out. And I mean, yeah, it just seems like a hassle. But the one I think the one that shows it off like most is like the lead painter for like P3 or something like that. He makes perfect blends with it, of course. So there is nothing wrong with it. Of course, it's just a matter of taste. So, yeah, where were we? With the like, okay, so like right now, I don't know if you see it here, but can you just it's just it's hard to get it on camera. But I used while we've been talking now, I'm soon done with my base coats. That's a thing that's really got me in the beginning journey of painting. I mean, like I had a rush of the base layers. I noticed that people you really get a better result if you have like if you don't get tired of painting those base colors in and just get them on so that you have something like solid to work out of. Because if you hurry up too much, then the no pun intended, but the base isn't that solid. So yeah. So how much would you say, if you would categorize like the techniques that you know now and do you utilize, which one is like did revolutionize your painting style the most, and which one is like, oh my god, what was the eureka moment for you?
The bigger brush, definitely. That was like, I always felt slow. I always felt held back. I always kept going for more paint. And I thought you always need a tiny brush.
Yeah.
It's a tiny miniature, you always need a tiny brush. No, I have 2 or 3 brushes ready now, so if I really need a tiny brush for a tiny detail, or like a place where I can barely reach, I will switch the brush. But mostly I am working with so sizes doesn't say anything. All manufacturers
size doesn't
use
matter, right?
Size. Yeah. All manufacturers, like there's no standard. But for me, I switched from a size 0 from the Raphael 8404 to a size 2.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty big difference. I can try to hold it up here into the camera if you're looking at this on YouTube. This is a real difference. And I'm painting faster now. I'm enjoying it more because I don't have to remix and reload my brush all the time. I can paint details for like a full set of pants or whatever, or a full set of chest armor or whatnot, just going on there and hitting it. And that's really, really nice.
Yeah. I actually, my first like Kolinsky brush was a size 1 Raphael,
Mm-hmm.
and as I still have it. I'm actually using it right now. It isn't in the best of shapes, but it works for base coats. And I mean, I tend to go for like a size 1 or size 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, if I have to choose, just as you say, it doesn't, um, the speed of things, and also the fun of it. Like you can
Yeah.
really keep on painting, and that really gets it more fun. Um and I really have that experience of, like, people, like they say, when using like a small brush, that the paint dries on the way to the mini. I've
Yeah.
had that more than once, like when you painting eyes and stuff. Like, okay, so I dip it in white and then I go in for the reflection, and it's dry. And it's so
Yeah.
freaking annoying. And to have that when with like regular stuff would be so numbingly bad. I think, like, if you had
Yeah.
to go back to the palette like for every stroke, oof, hurts.
Mm-hmm. It's really annoying. It is
So yeah,
really annoying.
glad that you found the bigger brushes, mate.
What I recently found really helpful is feathering. Feathering really,
Yeah,
um, it's you have to be fast, like for dry brushing, or you can have a second brush ready. But I just go in, shake my brush off into the water, dip it on the towel, and then just feather the color out. This is a really nice blending technique, and yeah, that helped my painting really, really, really much.
yeah. I think feathering was one of the first like techniques that I used without realizing that I used a technique. Like, it just felt right, do you know?
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, when it works, right? It's just one of those things. So moving on to the airbrush, maybe. Do you have any techniques that you want to share there, or that you
I
think
just have
should?
to say that mostly or most of the times my most used technique is, as stupid as it sounds, is moving paint around. Um, I sometimes um, combine techniques because I feel like what I'm doing right now is the way to go for it.
Yeah, I really understand that, and I can't agree more. I mean, it's just going with the flow and the feel. So, like, I think that the best advice that anybody's given, really, I mean, it's the one that shouted the most. It's just paint more minis. It's just get out there, paint stuff,
Yeah,
and learn while doing. I mean, it's just yeah, I don't know how to say it better. It's just, if you paint more, you'll get better. If you paint more different stuff, then you'll um, stumble into things that you need to learn to handle. And yeah, it's just paint more. Get paint on the bristles. That's
yeah,
just that's the best technique of all.
definitely, definitely. Is it that on techniques we have like this overpainting, dry brushing, layering, glazing, loaded brush,
Yeah,
feathering? I think
yeah.
that's most of it, right?
I think so too. I mean, the only one that I thought about now that you said overpainting, is one that I really have been like jonesing to try out, and I think they call it like underpainting, and it's the one that Craft World does.
Mm-hmm.
They do it like really more to like set the mood. They
Yeah.
paint like skin and stuff with really like weird colors, also
Mm-hmm.
almost like they they know their paints and their color theory so well, so even in like an underpainting study, they know that what they want to like show through in like temperature and what contrasts well with each other. So like a skin might have cold shadows and warm highlights, then they'll go in like with the opposite on the clothes, and that might turn out like to be orange and different blue tones, and then they'll throw in green and red, and like it looks
Yeah.
crazy when they does it, but it always ties so neatly in the end, and I love their stuff. I mean, some stuff they do, it's like, oof, I would want like a whole army painted that way. Would be, yeah. I wrote one of them. I think she's called Alexandra. It's they're actually a pair. There's a Marco and Alexandra is the ones painting for Craft World. And
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that to Alexandra once when she painted the Lumineth, and I was like, "Damn, I really want one of those armies looking like this." And she was like, "Yeah, everybody does." Cocky, but yeah, I mean, it's, oh god,
Well, true. I would say, of course, everybody wants their army to look like this, but yeah, ain't nobody got time for that, as
no,
a famous woman on the internet once said. Yeah, airbrush. I often use a kind of underpainting, um, like for setting tones and moods. I did that on my Octarius terrain,
oh yeah, cool, yes,
but not in the way Craftworld did it, but more like using a lot of different tones where I would start to paint over where some of the tones were still showing or were showing through, and that is a nice way to get color variations in. And I think painting that way, on a like 28 mil or 32 mil scale, is a bit taxing, I would say. It's but if you get into like 75 mil or bust categories, that could really make the difference. That could
yeah,
really make the difference.
yeah,
Um,
and that's like, it's also a thing that you have to be aware of, like where you're at and what you're willing to put in, and like, but let's be honest. I mean, there's nothing out there that can't be done. I mean, there's
yeah,
like, people are doing crazy stuff. So it's just like, you want to try it for a few days and get it, or you want to move on, and
yeah.
that's, I mean, everything is okay. So don't feel bad if you don't want to do it, but never like doubt that it can be done, because it can.
Yeah.
I'll vouch for that any day.
So airbrush, I got two airbrushes.
Me too.
One is my Primer Zenithal and Varnish Slave,
Yep.
which also I often use for when I paint bigger stuff, for like covering ground, or applying an ink as a filter above like a whole, like over a bigger area.
Yep.
That's my hot and steam bag evolution with a .4 needle. That's all I
You're
do with
a
this airbrush.
you're a Harbeck and Steiner geek then.
Hot
That's
and
the
steam
way
bag
you...
is like 150. The manufacturing place is like 150 kilometers away from me. It feels
Ah,
local.
okay. Then I get that. Okay, yeah. So, what do you say to the people like that vouch for like Badger? And yeah, I mean it's mostly like Americans, I think, but that's what I
Dude,
like. Yeah.
what are you using?
Um, I went in with a Sparmax.
Mm-hmm.
So I went the Squidmore route early on. So I went in with the Sparmax 3 just
Yeah,
because Emil said it was a good starter brush.
yeah,
And I got the same compressor that everybody has. I think it's called like A186 or something like
yeah.
that. I get it with the tank. And last year I got the Infinity CR Plus.
Yeah, let me grab my two brushes. Da-da-da-da. Here they are. My Evolution and my Infinity.
There we go.
I changed a few things on both airbrushes, but mostly on my Infinity. For the Infinity, I went for this half-open tip that the Evolution has as well,
Yeah.
because it's much nicer to like backflow and stuff.
Yeah.
What the Evolution did not have from the start, but there's a part for that you can order, is this nice thing here. It's the same thing that is on the Infinity as well, where you can just stop your trigger. And one thing I got on both airbrushes is my quick release.
That's so nice.
But the most epic thing I've gotten is this little ring
Oh yeah,
above
yeah.
above my quick release, and that is the pressure regulator.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were mentioning before when I said it was awesome. Yeah.
Oh my god! I just run my compressor on a 3 bars now. That's around 45 psi. And if I feel I got too much, I don't look at numbers anymore. It's just became like a gut thing. I just regulate down on my airbrush, spray on a white paper test piece until I think it feels nice, and then I just go for it. I mean, there's like, what, 1 cent or 2 cents of color going out if I test it.
Yeah.
If even.
So the thing with airbrushing really, I have to be honest with when I started airbrushing, it was one of those things that I was kind of afraid of.
Oh yeah.
For like weird reasons really, but mainly I think I was afraid of like ruining my stuff. Like, can I break this? I mean, it seems like it's breakable.
Oh yeah.
And the first time it clogged, I was like, oh my god, what do I do? What do I do? But now it's really second nature. I mean, it clogs, but you always know what to do. There's never like that much of a hassle. Speaking of the Sparmax 3 right now, I don't like it. It's kind of a junk airbrush. I mean, I do stuff with it
Do-do.
that I do
Do-do.
but
Don't do now, do later, please.
I do with the airbrush. No, but
That's bad, dude.
yeah. Yeah, but I do OSLs with that as well. I mean, I use a 0.3 needle with it, and with the Infinity, it's just I regularly have that with the 1.5. So it's very, very small. So the main work is always with the Sparmax, and it has worked very nice. I mean, it was a very well worth investment, I would say.
Yeah.
And and the thing that you said before, like going with it, just having a feel for it, I mean, it's the same with the airbrush as it is with the brush. I mean, it's just about control and knowing when to like up the pressure, or you have to dilute more, or I'm very not much of a numbers guy when it comes to those things. I just go with it. And
Doing it is the key.
yeah, and it's like I see instantly if I have to dilute more or if I have to up the pressure, and then I just do that. And it's really the thing that you have to, and I can't like overstate this enough, and everybody shouting it in every airbrush video that I've seen, so it's I hope that everybody's seen it already, but you have to learn the finger control. You have to, you can't press that button down. Like I started with that, like we like that you could press it down for okay, I'm just painting this color, I'll press it down. But that's when you ruin things. I mean, as long as you pepper that and you have the control, and you, then nothing really bad can happen. Like if you have a little bit of overspray, there was just one tiny like instant of paint that went in the wrong direction. You can easily fix that. It's when you press it down and flood the model in the wrong space, that's when you have a big problem. So as long as you don't do that, there's nothing to be afraid of, really. I mean, it's just go in there and spray and have fun. And
So for me, important to learn was if you think you've thinned it down enough, thin it some more.
Yeah.
And having a trigger stop is the best thing that can happen to an airbrush. So I always have my trigger stop on, except for using primer on large stuff, or using varnish. Then I mostly have my trigger stop off. But important is press it down for air and then pull back in little motions for a small burst of paint. Burst of paint. And then keep the air running and then release. It's always air, paint, air, release. That way you can stop a lot of clogging and other stuff.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people that just hammer down for air, pull back for paint, and then release completely.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's bad. That is really bad.
Yes, and I mean, stuff happens. It's okay. I mean,
It's just fucking paint.
Yeah, it's just paint. It's never too late to fix it. So yeah, just take your time and learn. And also, like I said before, be sure to know that, I mean, it is a tool. It's meant to be used, and when the time comes for you to like do a thorough clean, pick it apart. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to pick it apart. It's not that hard to put it together again. But don't overdo it. I mean, don't pick it apart every time. Then that will be like, especially on the finer stuff with the seals and stuff, you don't want to damage those things unnecessarily. I would say, at least. But
so I have an ultrasonic cleaner. If I really need to clean it, I put it in my ultrasonic cleaner.
Yeah, same here.
This airbrush I haven't been taking apart for like what feels 4 months or more now. But what I can tell every hot end steam bag user, if you need to take the needle out, screw the back off, release it, screw the front off, and always pull your needle out of the front and not out of the back. I don't know what it is with Harder and Steenbeck airbrushes, but I got this tip from a dude. I don't know where, when, whatever. I don't even remember where I got this tip from. That's because of my... there's a little man in my head that shudders every name as soon as it gets in. I don't mean ill by it, but I can't remember names. I'm really bad at it. But he told me to pull them out of the front, because I always had issues with my seals in my Harder and Steenbeck airbrush, and that got rid of all my issues with my seals, just pulling the needle out from the front.
There we go.
Also, every time I did a large project like priming, I just primed 35 miniatures, and that was a lot of primer going through. All I do is I remove the cap, and I go to my sink and run water into the cup and spit it out a few times. I mean, if you're changing colors, there's always like these nice bottles you may have seen at your tattoo artists and stuff.
Yeah.
You can hold your airbrush like this and spray it in and get all the colors out. But if I really want to clean it, I do it like this. I remove my trigger, stop, and I remove the cap from the cup, and then I screw off my tip. Just the tip. And I hold the cup under running water and pull the trigger completely back. So all the water will run right through the front and take all the paint with it. And then I got a little cleaning tool, and I use a lot of running water to clean my nozzle.
Yeah.
And then I just put my nozzle back on and screw the front back on, and that's it. That's just, I'm doing nothing more.
So, have you seen the way Angel Geraldes does his changing of colors?
Nope. How does he do it?
He's really, I've been meaning to try it. He actually, like, when he's done with like a color, I can just show it here. He takes the airbrush and he puts it underwater here. So he puts it down into a cup, and then he loosens the needle on the back, and he like judge it like back and forth at the same time, spraying underneath the water. So he gets a backflow from the needle to the chamber. So he does that for a couple of times, and then it's completely like dry, clean from the color that he just uses, and then he can put in a new color. So that's how he changes it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I've been meaning to try that one. So one thing that I've been using recently, I think it's just laziness, but I've been like noticing that I've had like colors that I want to use on my wet palette, and I just, instead of like pre-mixing and anything, I can just go in there with a big brush and take it off, and then just put the brush in the airbrush.
Yeah.
And as long as it's diluted okay, I can just go with that. So it's a lot quicker than going in there with airbrush medium and stuff like that, just to get the right dilution. If I see it on the the wet palette, and I see that it's okay, I can just put it in there with the brush. Okay. Do we have more techniques that we want to cover?
I just backed that Ukraine Kickstarter. I just went for it. I looked at the list of manufacturers on it right now, and I just backed it. Fuck it. I only have 4 terabytes of STL files. 1,000 more won't hurt, right? Yeah. So that is a lot of techniques we use on a daily basis, I think. I mean, of course, putting washes on, putting pigments on. It's also kind of doing stuff. Also, all the nice weathering products, like you
Yeah.
showed in your last video, which really, really inspired me to pick up a piece I already finished and put some of that stuff on. I did that live on stream.
Yeah.
And it was a really good video, mate. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to try and make something like very contained. And
Yeah.
I wanted to try like the stop motion thing in the beginning was like that's when that's why I made it in the first place. Like, oh, I want to move those stuff around. It turned out okay. It was fun.
It was a really great video, and I love this product. And when I got this, a store that wanted to work together with me sent me this stuff, and I thought it was like they were sending me a sample
Yeah.
because the bottles are so tiny and they are so expensive when you look at them. So
Yep.
I thought they were sending me a sample, but it wasn't the sample, it was the real deal. And was like, oh,
Yep.
dude, they just sent me, I don't know, 40-50 bucks in 3 little bottles that could easily spill.
Yep.
But yeah,
So
maybe I will work with them. We haven't figured that out, but they just wanted to send me stuff, and I like that.
of course you do. Yeah. So I would say that as well. I mean, it's not the cheapest stuff. We haven't mentioned it by name yet, but I think people who are listening know what we're talking about. It's the Dirty Down.
Dirty down.
Dirty Down. I mean, it depends on what you want to do, but I mean, for might not like buy it and use it like for throwaway stuff. Like if you wanna, it's going to be really fast, expensive if you want to like use it for a whole terrain set or anything like that.
God damn, I wouldn't do that.
No, but like if you are a commission painter, and if you take it into consideration the cost, and then you could really deliver awesome looking like rust effects and stuff like that. So it's it's a nice product for sure. And I don't think I've even like begun to tap into the full potential yet. With the video, I just wanted to show what was possible, like with basically one coat, like just putting it on.
But seeing that video that you made, it is I thought that stuff had a little bit of a lack in texture, so I got Typhus Corrosion.
Typhus, yeah.
That is a great combination, and since I wanted to test out these technical colors a bit more, I got like 2 earth thingies, like Cracked Earth and stuff from Games Workshop. I really like the snow stuff from Games Workshop. It's expensive as hell, but I really like it. It looks really good. But I also grabbed some Nurgle's Rot. And of course some Blood for the Blood God, and I will try combining it with Uhu glue, because
nice.
that should look especially good. And there's a special color that Games Workshop makes that is for painting lenses. And that is Spirit Stone Red, and this stuff is also in other colors. You can get it in other colors.
Okay, cool.
But I think I have to contact the seller, because now looking at this Spirit Stone Red, there's a huge clump in the middle. And I don't think that is right, and maybe I need to mix it up a bit, or it looks like really half empty and all clumped up.
That doesn't sound very good.
No, wait, that. Okay, that is interesting. So this stuff should make for lenses and stuff. Can mix it up. It's all right. It's not a hard clump. And yeah, this should give a realistic lens effect. And
Cool.
I want to paint that on some visors and stuff. Yeah, we will see how that turns out.
Cool. Um,
That's it
okay.
on techniques, I think. We covered a lot of brush work, airbrush work,
think
and
so too,
and a lot of things you do yourself with a brush.
Yeah.
So I would quickly...
and basically just went through like our process, and the most important thing is just don't think about the technique that much. Like, don't basically go in there like, now I'm going to do this. Try to get a feel for it. That's what I say. That's when you learn the most. That when you're not realizing that you're feathering, you're just painting. That's when you find your mojo, I would say.
All you need is acrylic paints, water, and a brush, basically. You
Yep.
can work with just that. Everything else is fancy shenanigans that are a lot of fun, but you don't essentially need it.
Exactly.
As in every hobby, you can get a million things. People told me I was getting into airbrushes too early because I couldn't use the brush right, and that was not a good tip. Sorry, guys, that was not a good tip, because I prefer to suck at two things for a period of time and then can use both of them, instead of mastering one and then getting the other thing in and ruining all the stuff I mastered with the other one. You know?
Yeah.
I prefer to suck for a longer period of time with more tools and then slowly get them all and progress with them all together. But that's just my opinion.
We're also back at the like the thing I said with, like, we have a little bit of a hurry. Like, we don't want to do the same thing over and over again. People, there's a time in the hobby before our time when people didn't even use airbrushes. Like, airbrushes isn't that like old of a thing to do. But it's hard for us to step into those kinds of shoes when we see what people can manage with an airbrush. So of course we want to try it like everything else. And the thing is, I think that the only thing that I would say for people jumping into airbrushing early is don't let it go because it's just hard, because it is.
It is.
Just keep with just keep with it. That's what I would say. Like, don't be afraid. I think that's...
And yes, you're going to ruin stuff.
Yeah.
And especially your airbrush. You're gonna wreck your airbrush, believe me.
And
have a second needle ready.
yeah, at least like don't be afraid of getting it clogged and stuff, because just get to feel of it, like, and open it up and get comfortable with your tool. Really, just get it's yours. It should be afraid of you. That's what I'm saying.
It should tremble in fear as soon as you open your drawer and grab it. It should basically piss itself with paint, even if it's not been loaded yet.
Yep.
So, jumping into my quick tip, and that's a quick tip I haven't tried myself, but I will try it now in the next project. And I got like this wonderful plastic plate here. It's just a plastic plate.
Yeah.
And I got this wonderful box. The big one with 48 was cheaper than the one with 10, and it was the same build quality and stuff. So I don't know why the big one was bigger. And this is pastel chalks. And there's like a lot of them in there. So I have a lot of color variations possible.
Yep.
And what you will do is, if you want to use pigments, you will grab this, and you can either rub it on your plate and get it a bit. So I'm rubbing it on the plate right now, so it breaks apart a bit. Just to show you guys. So if you have it like this on your plate, you can break it down a bit more with the back of a dry brush or something, like really grinding it down, and make pigments with it. So the nice thing is, on this plate you can add multiple, and if you don't use them, they can keep being on that plate, and it's totally okay, and you can mix them together. And if you're doing like I need several brown tones, you can just put them on there and dip your brush in, and then just pigment stuff, as I did on my hand here, and it will give a nice color hue, and you have a lot of paints or colors to choose from. So this will be one of the next things I will try with the pastel chalks.
Cool. I actually have the same. I've had it in my box for quite a while. I think like Jeremy on Black Magic Craft had a video on that recently.
Did he?
I don't know if where I saw it first, but yeah, that's the thing I've thought about doing too, like especially for like getting more unusual colors, not just earthy colors. Like if you want to do something more spaced out, like that opens up a whole lot, being able to pick any color really. Then and then also I do have the fluorescent pigment from Games Workshop that I used with my oils. So those are just pigments also, so you could just do really crazy stuff with that. So yeah. We'll see. Something in the future.
And you don't need binder, you can use varnish as well.
Yeah.
That is really, really cool. I'm just looking at the Discord, finding the channel that I always miss because I am blind. But it should be in the PaintWater Soup. Yeah, Show This Mini. So we talked about Annie's miniature last time, and today it is time. Let me see if I can switch over the camera. Hello? Is it doing anything here?
Nope.
I think the stupid program is doing stupid stuff again. Oh shit!
What happened?
Oh lol. I don't know if this will still work.
Oh yeah,
Yes, it still works.
I see. Yeah, I see something.
Oh god damn it!
What?
I may just held the cable that I use into the candle that is standing on my table, and I was wondering why it smelled so bad.
Oh, okay.
But that's for another time.
Okay, yeah, the vampires.
Dude.
I loved the skin of those guys. It was so very well done. Amazing work. And I love how he, how to say this, I mean, held back on not going overboard on stuff. It's an amazing work, really.
I did not know if he. I think he started with a darker tone and went up to the lighter skin color. But
I suppose so. Yeah.
I don't think he was like recess shading that or something, because that would have been a lot of work.
Correct us if we're wrong in the Discord, but it looks like a layering work to me, but it's very smooth, and yeah, it looks very good.
It looks amazingly well. The eyes also have a nice accent dot in them. What is really sticking out for me is the really subtle metallics.
Oh yeah,
they're not totally overdone. Also, the stone parts are not too dark. Often like those stone elements often get really darkened down, and he did a really good job of keeping the light intensity on minis and surroundings the same.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong. These guys are for the board game, right?
It's for Cursed City, right?
Yeah. So that's why he went with those kinds of bases, because they're fitting on the board.
They are amazing. I love them. I'm still thinking about getting these bases for my Cursed City game.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks awesome.
Also, if you look at it a bit closer, like around here, the skull looks really old.
Yeah.
Which I like, and there's different colors on the candles. They turn out really well. The slight rust, and you can see that the rust is built up in layers.
Yeah.
And there's a green like moss on the base of the pillar, which makes it look really old. On the other one, there's it as well.
Yeah. It's overall
fitting, totally fitting.
It's fantastic work, really.
Yeah. Also, if you look at the paint job itself, it's super clean.
Yeah.
On some parts, he went like in with a more like a scratching motion.
Yeah.
And I would love to see
the eyes is amazing.
The eyes they are piercing. That is, and he also painted inside the mouth. Often people forget that. There's really nice color variations on the red shoulder mount or shoulder plate that they are wearing. I would love to see them. It could be a bit hard because of the dark and black colors of the hair, but I would love to see them on a infinite black background. They would really pop out.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, you said something there. Cool.
Yeah,
so
that's it. That's the mini from the community we got sent in.
I wanted to bring up something in this segment of the show. Just a quick congratulations to our very own Ogregg Miniatures for his collaboration with Squidmar. I mean, he earned it so much with the thing that he made for the pinball machines. I also suspect that we talked about this, right? Emil put out the feelers. We spoke about it, and I told you that it was Ogregg, and you wrote Emil. So we might have been had a little part of it, and it feels good.
I might have been involved.
Feels good.
I might have wrote Emil and said, dude, I know an amazing sculptor, and he has been working on stuff for Peter, helping out with Butterfly for Hannah and stuff. And I don't know if he will fit your style, or but maybe, I don't know. I open up a chat and you guys talk, and he was like, yeah, of course, why not? And Ogregg was in it from the get-go. So I connected them, made up a group, introduced them, and then just left the group because whatever they had to talk about was private. And yeah,
It's amazing that could be like he really did it. Like the things he sculpted is amazing. The video turned out amazing. And it's so cool to be like he could use his expertise really to help Emil in that kind of way. I'm so glad for him. He deserves all the praise and all the awareness that this gets him. Yeah, so yes, congrats, mate. It's I was so glad.
I am really happy that worked out. I was kind of hoping for it, and I mean, I only got to know Emil because I was one of the bigger patrons, and I got coaching from Emil, and I got to talk with him a lot. We still write stuff from time to time. He's a really nice, approachable guy, and yeah, what Ogorek did on the Butterfly for Hannah stuff, and what he did with your Wiley, he really impressed me. And that is, people say knowing people is my specialty, is my superpower. So if someone says, "Oh, I need someone to do this and this," and why is your phone in your hand? What are you doing? Yeah, I thought you needed someone to do this, so I'm calling someone. That happens all the time in my real life. So yeah, I need someone to do my roof. Yeah, wait, why are you calling? Yeah, the roof guy. You wanted a roof guy, right? And that's yeah. It's been a lot of fun, and connecting people always makes me happy. So connecting them, and it turned out so great.
Yeah,
I'm really that is stuff that makes me genuinely happy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I was so happy. First, I have to say, I woke up that morning when the video had been released, and Cindy, I think, had written in the Discord, or it might have been Badger, like, "Dude, you're in the Squidmar video," and I was like, "I have," and then just looking through it, I suddenly realized that okay, it's Wiley and it's Ogoreg, and I was so happy for him.
Yeah, mate,
it's perfect. It's perfect. So yeah, Wiley is in the Squidmar video, and that's something for Wiley.
That is amazing, and hopefully it gets a lot of attention to your channel.
Yeah.
But that's not why you're here. That's not why we did it. It's just
no.
So there was a chance, and if I see chances and I can't take them myself, I look around for people that I know so they can take that chance. It's that simple. And I would say on that note, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening for this like jumble of talk. Like, I hope we stayed somewhat on point, and I hope I was able to do two things at once. I just realized that I totally forgot to plug in the camera, so you haven't been able to see me paint anything. So I could do two things at once, maybe, but not three. No. Plugging in the camera was one too many things. The dude he's turning out quite okay. He'll be ready soon. I'll post pictures and stuff, so you'll see.
Yeah, follow that dude on Instagram. I heard he's kind of an okay painter.
Okay, so yeah, thanks from me as well. Thanks for listening, and yeah, you can take the closing, Björn. You'll
should I? Okay.
Yeah, so do it.
Guys, fellow hobbies, thanks for listening, and I hope we could bring some joy and some company into your hobby life. And if you want to support us on no costs, considering you failed at this one, consider telling your friends about us, and sub to our YouTubes, sub to us on all the other nice places where you can get the podcasts, and please rate us. It helps us immensely. And if you want to support us with your hard-earned dollars, there are 2 Patreons and 2 Teesprings, each for one of us, and everything we earn will go primarily into the podcast, so we can pay for the equipment and for the software. Everything above that will go into our separate channels. And if you want to grab some merch, you can do that in our Teespring shops. Everything will be linked. And yeah, all I can say is thank you for listening and sticking around. We hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, here on
PaintWater Soup.
PaintWater Soup. Bye, guys.
Bye.